e tabua e o si sambe mo rekan roka adoro mo kan tabua anto tele taka na waronga na pula FM namba 2 e na sir
bola na go ilimo do tele taka na FM na go sa sector to na pula FM
bola o tsempo ni valu ngone ni kandabu me mo kisa o ba chiku na sinu ando tele taka bali na waronga na pula FM na bantu na sir
o lorima na ga gini suka lambasa to do tele taka na bola FM na bantu na sir
Bola FM.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. In this bulletin, talks on economic partnership agreement in limbo with Papua New Guinea's absence. New health centres on Nasinu to be complete by the end of the year. And illegal logging becoming an increasing worry for Fiji pine. The comprehensive economic partnership with the European Union is unlikely to reach a conclusion in the near future. EU head of delegation to Fiji and the Pacific ambassador Andrew Jacobs says the EU is no longer able to negotiate the EPA with Pacific countries because Papua New Guinea has withdrawn.
The Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, which covers the Pacific region, has been under negotiation for several years. Speaking on FBC TV's For the Record program, Ambassador Andrew Jacobs says the geopolitical situation is such that the European Union can't continue talks at this stage.
But also one of the Pacific countries, Papua New Guinea, has pulled out of the negotiations of the comprehensive EPA, and the European Commission has a mandate from the European Union member states and the European Parliament to negotiate with the Pacific as a whole. So if we don't have all of the Pacific countries around the table, it's very difficult, it's impossible to conclude an agreement.
PNG has separately signed an interim EPA with the European Union and is no longer part of regional discussions. Ambassador Jacobs says the European Union is keen to sign economic partnership agreements on a bilateral level with individual Pacific Island countries.
The interim agreement provides duty-free, quota-free access into the European Union for all products, all imports coming from Fiji and from PNG. The existing EPA provides for asymmetric and gradual opening up of PNG and Fiji markets to European products.
Fiji has signed an interim EPA as well, but remains part of negotiations on the comprehensive agreement. Requirements for fisheries management and conservation are also a contentious issue in EPA negotiations. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
The Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation hopes the International Labour Organization's sanctioned tripartite mission is a good omen. FCEF Chair Himen Chandra says negotiations so far have been fruitful, with another round of talks by the Employment Relations Advisory Board scheduled for Wednesday. Maggie Boyle reports.
Chair of the Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation, Himen Chandra, is optimistic that the country will dodge the bullet on the ILO visit.
I think Commission of Inquiry is now far-fetched. I think it's a discussion mode now. We have started the discussion, which is probably what we see now. And with the ERAP meetings and then with the tripartite coming in, I think the consultations and the dialogues will move further. And I believe that we'll come to a situation where we all agree to of substance.
Chandra says as far as they're concerned, their issues have been addressed.
The areas that is schematically was looked at by the government and the employers and the unions, like the check-off list and the right to strike and all these, that they, according to us, it's pretty much on par. We've signed off on it.
The FCEF chair also adds that they're trying to work through the impasse with the unions.
We've been very, very neutral, and we've been very proactive in getting the two parties together in last year in Geneva and in coming forward as well. So we've been doing all our best in order to make sure that there is unity between the three tripartite partners.
The ILO tripartite mission is expected to assess why the government, the unions and the employers' representatives have been unable to agree to a labour law reform plan. They arrive on Monday. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
People from 2 villages in the Western Division are currently under police investigation for illegal pine logging. Fiji Pine Operations Manager Asisela Dhokanathangi says the loss of pine is becoming a serious problem affecting the company's revenue. Senia Nimboila has more.
Fiji Pine Limited is pleading with the public to stop illegally harvesting pine. Operations Manager Asisela Dhokanathangi says people are entering plantations leased by Fiji Pine and taking pine trees without approval or authority.
Also, a problem that we are facing, Fiji Pine is facing, is the illegal logging. And I believe this illegal logging, there's a lot of illegal logging going on in Bono Levu, and it's been so unfortunate that, and I believe the general public and also landowners need to be advised that in case of logging, if they are not really sure that the boundary which they would like to log, they need to contact Fiji Pine. Especially, that's the normal procedure that we're having now.
Dhokanathangi confirms they've referred some incidents to police, including people from 2 villages in Nandronga. He says these villages allegedly harvested 10 truckloads of pine from the company plantation and sold it to a sawmiller. A similar amount was recently found harvested and waiting for transportation. Dhokanathangi says illegal logging is costing Fiji Pine hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the matter can't be allowed to continue unaddressed. Meanwhile, the company hopes to increase its planting program in 2016.
We are altogether looking at, to plant 2,500 hectares this year. And as normal, we always have that slogan in our mind, to plant more than harvest.
Fiji Pine continues to urge people not to light fires near pine plantations. Senia Nimboila, FBC News.
A former clerical officer with the Ministry of Finance charged with 2 counts of abuse of office, 1 count of falsification of documents and 1 count of obtaining financial advantage took his plea today. Eliesa Wangavonovono pleaded guilty to falsification of documents, obtaining financial advantage and 1 count of abuse of office, however, pleaded not guilty to a 2nd count of abuse of office. It's alleged that between January and August of last year, Wangavonovono retained 2 BSP checks worth more than $60,000. Wangavonovono also allegedly forged checks worth thousands of dollars. Now, he has been released on bail in order to surrender all travel documents. A hearing date has been set for the 27th of June. After the break, expect heavy police presence on the roads as the new school year begins.
And I love Mirchi FM.
Hi, my name is Sonny from Canberra. I love listening Mirchi FM online.
मैं हूँ उर्मिला देवी आसिया सितावा से जितेन शांडिल को और अश्निल को तावा में लॉक कर दिया जाए.
हम लोग यहाँ से कतो कमें Mirchi FM सुनता है. Mirchi FM is hot.
I'm Shelly in Tanga Nursery. Mirchi music simply bindas in nursery.
मैं अशफाक वालिल हुसैन Mirchi FM मेरे नस्ना.
Welcome back to FBC News. Traffic police will be out on the roads during peak hours as the new school year begins tomorrow. Director Traffic SSP Mahesh Mishra says the operation will be no different from the past years. Officers will be positioned at busy intersections. Ritika Pratap reports.
The start of school means the roads will get busier in the morning and the afternoon when school breaks. While the older students are used to the busy road environment, there will be many beginners and traffic police will be out to help them all.
During the peak hours at critical location, the officers will be doing traffic control in order to ease the traffic, and on the same token we will also focus on overloading of buses and also children's safety, that is paramount, and also the safety of all the passengers and the pedestrian and the drivers too.
SSP Mahesh Mishra says people need to plan their trip and leave home well before time.
We would like to ask the motorists, especially the drivers, to ensure they remain within the speed limit at all the school areas, and also to ensure to pay extra precautionary measures and attention to the school children, that they must be traveling by road or as a pedestrian to their home, to school and back to their home.
A handful of young students lost their lives on roads due to negligence and not observing road rules. SSP Mishra says this needs to change.
They should be with adults to ensure that they are safe on the road, and also our main focus will be those who are been not supervised, and that is our concern, and they need to be supervised, and the parents and guardians should ensure that their children are in the school compound safely, and when they are finished from the school they need to be at home safely.
The police will also be visiting schools to talk to students about road safety. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
People in Naulu and Makoi Nasinu will have health facilities available by the end of the year following the construction of 2 new health centres. Farzana Nisha tells us more.
Health Minister Choneo Samate says the Nosori to Lemi corridor has one of the highest populations in Fiji, and the new facilities will ease the pressure on Nosori Health Centre and the CWM Hospital.
The Naulu Health Centre, we're relocating from its current location, moving to the new location. Not only that, making it a bigger facility. It'll become a Class A health facility. That means it will include things like dentistry, X-ray facilities and so forth. And this facility that we have at Makoi will be a birthing, maternity unit.
The new Makoi Health Centre will have a birthing unit, a maternal child's health unit, quarters for the nurses and midwife services. Osamate adds the ministry is fully aware of the pressure of looking after hundreds of thousands of people, and Valilevu could become a hub for more advanced medical services between Nasinu and Nosori.
As I said, the area where we have the highest population density is in this region from Nosori to Lami. So we really, population here is around 300,000, 400,000. It's a big part of the population, so we need to be able to provide services here. We're hoping that if we can access enough land in Valilevu, we can extend Valilevu. We can make it bigger, we can make it as a larger hospital, and if possible, make it like a hospital. At the moment, it's just a health center.
The new Makoi Health Centre will cost around $6 million, while the Naulu Health Centre will cost $3.7 million. Razana Nisha, FBC News.
For 21 years, Waisale Sarevi was the face and name many people around the world associated rugby and the Fiji Islands. Now the man dubbed the maestro of the game's abbreviated code is making a name for himself in the business world in the United States. Madhi Boletamana spoke with Sarevi on the business path he has embarked on over the past 5 years.
I can tell you it was really tough because my mindset was still a rugby player. Culture-wise, Fijian people, we give until you can walk. You can keep giving things until there's nothing with you, and maybe you walk home.
It's been 5 years since the man known around the world as the King of Sevens embarked on a journey that has changed his life as well as that of his family.
We didn't even know that we'll end up in America because there's no rugby in America. We always know that it's just a small rugby thing. We know that we might end up in Japan or other parts of the world. Imagine USA for Fijian rugby player to open a business with business investors interested in things we are doing. I think that's, for me, it's a bonus, and I thank God for the opportunity.
Sarevi's Ataverse Rugby conducts clinics and accredits coaches in the United States and is now heavily involved with the NFL incorporating rugby tackling techniques to curb the growing concerns of concussions in the sport.
Football tackling now, it's like rugby tackling 2,000 years ago. You can hit anyone with an arm or flying tackle or whatever you call it. Now we've changed the law slowly and slowly to safeguard the attacker and the tackler.
The academy employs a staff of 30. Sarevi concedes he has had to learn a lot about running a business, but thanks to his mentors, the last 5 years has been rewarding for him and his family.
We are good in the US and we are happy. Kids are happy, they're enjoying school, and we're excited. Like I said, I'm excited for the next 5 years, and things are in place. And like I said, I want to give back to rugby, help rugby. get kids to be good rugby players, and especially the key thing is to be the better person in life.
The maestro returns to the US on Monday with the hope of growing his business to the next level. He says the US will be a force to reckon with in the rugby world in the not too distant future. Madhyum Balaitamana, FBC News.
The United Nations Development Programme has bought a ship for $500,000 on a request from the Tuvaluan government. The 30-metre boat Talamoana will be handed over to Tuvalu to help deal with the impact of climate change. It was tested in the Suva waters and left for Tuvalu yesterday. UNDP resident representative Osnat Lubrani says it will sail to different project sites as regular transport in Tuvalu is limited.
There's been an international conference on small island developing states, and one of the issues that kept coming up was the issue of having to increase connectivity, increase accessibility, a greater focus on the ones who are the most remote, the most in need, and without having the means to get to them, then we can talk a lot, but then it doesn't really happen, or it happens too slow, not efficient enough, and this is where this boat is going to help us.
The vessel was bought under a climate change adaptation project called NEPA. Sports now, and Rohit joins us today.
A very good evening. Coming up after the break, Fiji under-23 side settles in Spain and walks on Lawanga Park to be completed by next month. Stay with us for this and more.
Bula, I'm Dori from Nasinu Market. My choice is simple, Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
My name is Yvonne. I'm from Nandi. I love Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
Sayandra, my name is Sunny. Only the Gold FM at Golden Point Resort, Raki.
Hi, I'm Anna of Nasinu. When it comes to a radio, my choice is always Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
My name is Anna and I'm from Nandi. I love listening to Gold FM. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan has named a 20-member extended team that will move into camp from tomorrow to prepare for the Wellington and Sydney legs of the World 7 Series. Ryan has included police rep Micheli Nathangilevu, Uluinakaus Joshua Vidhi, Yamadhi's Wanga Rambana Kandavu, and Westfield's Masivesi Dakuwanga in his extended squad. The national mentor has also named Semi Kunatani, who will replace injured William Emata. Ryan will name his travelling 14-member team this Friday. The Wellington Sevens will be played on the 30th and the 31st of this month. The Fiji Sports Council has cleared the air on the playing field condition at Lawanga Park. There were a lot of questions raised over ground conditions during the Coral Coast Sevens last week, as a lot of sand patches were visible. The Sports Council says work on the playing field was not completed in time.
I have been in constant touch with the organisers of the Sevens tournament, with Jay White and his team. We were down there last week at Lawanga when the team were there doing their initial scope, and they were aware that the groundwork hadn't been completed. They were well aware. They were well aware that we were only at the sand capping stage. We haven't been able to complete the works completely, to finish it completely.
The works on the ground conditions are expected to finish by the end of next month. The Vodafone Fiji under-23 side has settled well in Spain as it prepares for its first warm-up match tomorrow. For one player who never dreamed of making it to the world stage, this tour is a dream come true. Anish Kem is a secondary school teacher in Nandronga. He's enjoying every moment of his stay in Spain with the national under-23 team.
I'm very proud of being in this Olympic side. I'm very grateful that I've been given an opportunity to play for Fiji under-23 side. And this is my first time to be part of Fiji national under-23. So I'm very grateful for that.
Kem, originally from Lambasa, plays for the Nandronga team locally and says he will pass on the knowledge he has learned to his students.
My aim is to learn as much as I can, and also my goal I have that to go back to Fiji and also teach my children how this modern football is being played here in Spain.
Fiji takes on Levante youth team at 11 p.m. tomorrow. Side is using this tour as a build-up to the Rio Olympic Games in August. The Vodafone Fiji futsal side had its first court session at Suva's Vodafone Arena today. With just 3 weeks until the OFC Futsal Championships, the Imtiaz Khan coach side has a lot to do. Back on the court as the Fiji futsal team counts down the days to the kickoff of the OFC Futsal Championships. The team is not only trying to cut down mistakes found on the New Zealand tour, but also work on its strengths.
Our weaknesses is a lot, which if I start touching now, it will take a year to cover that or more. So I've had a good talk with the team, and my strength is what we're going to work on. To be honest, if we perfect our strength, then maybe my weakness won't show.
The inclusion of goalkeeper Oliasi Tamanisau and Altaf Sahib has helped fill spots where the team lacked experience.
After talking to the management and looking at our strength, that's what we picked up, that we need, especially Altaf type of player. We needed him. Uliasi, yes, we didn't have a keeper, so thanks to him that he has come up and say, okay, I want to focus on futsal. So it's a big booster with his caliber, with his experience, leadership qualities. His bonus with the team, gelling with the team is really good with us at the moment.
The AFC Futsal Championships kicks off on the 8th of next month. The winner of the tournament qualifies for the Futsal World Cup in Colombia later this year. Former American professional basketball coach Tom Neville will be the guest speaker at the 2015 Fiji National Sports Awards. Meanwhile, 88 nominations have been received from various sporting bodies for 11 awards. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama will be the chief guest at the event.
Fiji Sports Awards, the organizing committee actually declared that the 23rd of December was the final date, and we've closed that off last year. And I'm happy to say that on the 23rd of December, we had about 60 nominations come in, and we've had the rest. They actually came in on the 23rd. They were sitting with the FASNOC office and with the Fiji Sports Council office, so we've compiled them all.
The Fiji Sports Awards will take place on the 26th of next month in Suva. And that's it from Sports Today. It's back to Amrita for business.
Car dealers will in the future be given approval to register new vehicles bought by their customers. Land Transport Authority Chief Executive Naisa Tuinadeva says this is part of major reforms for this year to make services effective and efficient. He added that these changes are expected to come into effect in the first 6 months of the year. A few scattered showers were experienced over most places today as a moist southeast wind prevailed over Fiji. Now, temperatures were in the 30s in all centres today. Lambasa topped the list at 33 degrees this afternoon. Tomorrow's forecast is for more warm weather, generally fine weather with a chance of scattered showers. And that's pretty much what we can expect for Wednesday as well. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate swells are expected. Recapping our headlines, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement negotiations can't proceed without PNG's return to the table. Fiji Pine says it's losing revenue to illegal logging. And police presence on the roads to be beefed up for the new school year. Now, on to our results from last week's poll question. We asked, do you support the decision to extend the rent freeze? 65% voted yes. And now on to this week's question. We are asking, was back-to-school shopping cheaper this year? You can visit our FBC website to take part. You can also send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email, citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj, or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News. If you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Good evening.